Hello and welcome to Lesson 4 on Database Interconnectivity Development and Management. Though the title might sound quite intimidating, in this short lesson we will see that this is something that is really quite straightforward. So let's jump in. On this slide are a couple of examples of websites during the early days of the internet, also called Web 1.0. These web pages would be regarded as static web pages. All they did was to give the reader information. There was no opportunity to post reviews, give comments or receive feedback. It was regarded as the readable phase of the World Wide Web. To create a static website, as you may have done in Dreamweaver, you would have to organize your material into different folders depending on data content. These folders could be an image folder, text folder, movies folder, and CSS folder, the latter used to format the web pages. The web page's homepage would be called an index, and it's from this page that the other pages could be accessed using hyperlinks. The picture on this slide shows the various folders used to create a clothing website. To publish a website, the files on the previous slide would need to be uploaded to a web server. Now, there are different types of web servers, such as Windows servers and Apache servers, but their purpose is the same. A web server is used to store many websites on the server's hard drives. To be able to access these websites, your computer sends a hypertext transfer protocol, an HTTP message, to receive the web pages and the content contained on these web pages. Once that request has reached the web server will retrieve and open the requested file and send the content back to the client using an HTTP reply. We are now very much in the writable phase of the World Wide Web with the interactive data. Unlike Web 1.0, Web 2.0 allows for interaction between web servers and sites, so it allows users to interact more freely with each other. Web 2.0 encourages participation, collaboration, and information sharing. For example, YouTube, Wiki, Flickr, and Facebook are Web 2 applications, to mention just a few. These are dynamic websites. A dynamic website has a database connected to it. The type of database software used on the internet are Access, MySQL, and Paradox. This website allows the user to be able to search, request, and receive specific information from the database. In order for a database to receive a HTTP request and convert this request into an instruction that the database will understand, special connectivity is required. This is done through a special program called an Application Program Interface, or API, or other software called Open Database Connectivity, also called ODBC software. It is this API or ODBC that makes the connection of the database to the internet happen and allows the result to be displayed on a web page. ODBC is very useful for a website designer, as the website designer can use this software to access data on the database, query the data, and then display the results on the web page. However, the designer does not need to know either how the database software actually works in terms of storing and retrieving data, or have to write special code to do this. Here's a general overview of how the process works. The HTTP server software, which is used to store, retrieve and display the web pages, as well as the application server software, such as the database software, i.e. Access, are both kept on the same physical web server. The user sends a request via the URL asking for information from the website. The HTTP request from the user is no different if it were going to a static or dynamic website, and the user is unaware that a database is connected or not to a website. Once the request reaches the web server, the ODBC software will use SQL, structured query language, to query and retrieve the data before these results are converted into HTTP and sent back to the user. Here is the process in a little more detail. The client will send an HTTP request to the web server using the URL, the Uniform Resource Locator. That's the bar at the top of your browser in which you put your web address in. The HTTP address reaches the web server, which knows that this request is for the application server due to the file extension in that HTTP request, which could be PHP or ODBC. This request is converted by the application software into an SQL request, which is a query language the database understands. Once the required information has been created by the database and sent back to the application software, this information is converted to HTTP and goes to the web server. HTTP is the protocol which transfers and communicates data. The web server will then convert this HTTP file into HTML, the program that web pages are made in, and sends this to the client over the internet. Dynamic websites and databases need constant development and management to maintain their relevancy and security, due to many reasons, these being just a few. That's updating items that have already been sold, updating the prices on the websites, and updating feedback on their products. How these websites are managed can be varied, but fall into these main categories. To create the websites, such as dynamic websites, to update the websites, to secure the websites, and managing the websites through software report generated analysis to provide guidance and business decisions. Thank you for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.